Everybody, it's Bill from Matt-Trakker.com, and yes, I am back from the dead. That's something. I don't know what the hell it was, but it hit hard and hit fast. So I apologize that I haven't had any posts or gotten any responses to anybody lately. I'm glad that I'm awake. And the funny thing is that while I was basically asleep for 2.5 days, which there are worse things in the world, I can admit. A lot of things happen in baseball, which if you watch the show, you know that I love. Things happen even for my Phillies. You know, one thing that didn't happen while I was asleep, Hasbro did nothing with Mask, you know. Weird, right? I was waiting. Not really, but it would have been kind of ironic to wait and wait and wait and wait, and then wait a little bit more to have a fever knock me out for a couple days, and then I wake up and then I see they're finally pushing forward on the movie, or they're taking the toy line and they're making it larger scale, and they're coming back as a classic, or I don't know, anything really, to be honest. But no, nothing happened. So that day comes. It's up to people like me, people like you, who are fans of the show and do your own fan art and have your own fan message boards and Facebook groups. Keep it going and keep Mask alive. If we don't do it, nobody else is going to. Just keep that in mind. With that being said, I want to talk about something that I've been holding off for a little while because, well, because it's so iconic. And not Thunderhawk, I'll get there eventually, I promise. But when I talk to a passerby, or if I talk to like a casual fan of the show, like at one of the, you know, the toy conventions, I remember Matt-Trakker, I remember Thunderhawk, I remember the logo, I remember Spectrum, but past all of that, once their brains really start kicking in and they start to kind of remember things, they remember Brad Turner and they remember Condor. I don't know if it was the rock and roll lifestyle that people remember. Maybe we all secretly wanted to be on a hairband when we were that young, and it just kind of clicked. But everybody seems to kind of remember Brad even before Miles Mayhem, which I find interesting. I have no problem with it, but I just think it's interesting. So I want to talk about Condor, but before we dig into it, let's take a look at it a little bit in action here, and then we'll jump into the toy.
Matt Turner, expert motorcycle and helicopter pilot, vehicle code name Condor.
I do. Don't believe it. His plan will work as long as he stays out of the destructor's range. These multiple holographic images ought to give Mayhem a case of eye strain. Good show, Brad.
You can find pretty inexpensive loose. You can find the figures inexpensive loose, both the short and the long version of the masks. Here they are here. And as always, I'll post the pictures so you can see a little better. Short and long. And one thing to take note of too, and I'm almost positive that this is the case, and I'm gonna verify by looking over here, not including the playful line of figures. Brad's was one of the ones that didn't get a repaint of the original costume. And as I'm saying it, it's in my mind. I'm verifying that's correct, because his Razorback was different, and that's all we got out of Brad Turner. That's one of the things to keep in mind. I attempted a custom. You can laugh at it in the comments, but it's basically my first. I think it was my first attempt at something. Yeah, I'll put a little closer here so you can see it. Get back here in the light. There you go. It was a learning experience. I couldn't get the damn thing apart, so I had to paint around everything, and it's messy. It's on my shelf if you ever want to see it. If you want a closer look at it, let me know. But aside from the playful ones, which here you go, here's one. There's two. Nah, that's Hondo straight. Okay. So here's one here with a Cliff Dagger mask. Now, I'm not taking the mask off. If you watched any of my other ones about these things, and I'm going to dig into these a little bit more at another episode, but do not take the masks off if you have them loose. The torsos are put on very poorly, and as soon as you start trying to turn, it just rips, takes it right off. Don't do it. If you have it on, just, convince whoever you're trying to show that it's what it is. So Brad Turner, rock star. And also to note, if you haven't yet seen the Mask comic, Mask 85, Brad Turner's used pretty well in that. And the artist who I did an interview with a little while ago, Brian Galler, I probably got it wrong again, right? But it's okay. It's one of his favorite figures and characters from the show. And he has big plans, looks like, for him in Mask 86, so we're going to see what happens with that. But it's a fan-driven comic, free to view right at the top of the page. There's a link here. And give it a read. Let the author know how good he did, because he did okay. But Condor, I don't have the box. I'm going to pull it up here, and I'm going to put it up on the web, not the website, the video. And the box, it's standard. It's one of those ones that was kind of, I always found this one a little weird, because the American version, Brad he was looking in a different direction. Most of the shots, from what I remember, figures face forward. There's Dusty up there with Wildcat where he's kind of turned. But it was one of the ones in the original series where the figure was kind of turned. I just found that to be odd. But it's straightforward. It gets the job done on how small it is. It's a helicopter, a motorcycle that changes into a helicopter and back. Now, why was this one something that people remember more than Rhino or Switchblade or Gator, those ones, right? Well, it's because it was smaller and it didn't cost as much. I don't remember how much these would have been back in 1985, but if you're like me, my parents took care, great care of us, but they weren't rich. So when we would go out somewhere, if it was like a special thing, and if you've been watching again, pretty much I got my entire collection when I was a kid from going to the dentist. My teeth were just that bad, but not only were my parents paying for the dentist, but they were also buying me a toy afterwards. At least they didn't have sugar in it, right? That's good. But if your parents are buying these things for you, it adds up pretty quick. And I would say that this was probably like a $5.99 thing, $5.99 to maybe $7.99, give or take. Compare that to Thunderhawk, which is probably $20. You gotta pick and choose what you can get. Same thing with Piranha, and we'll dig in that a little bit more too. But Condor, that's some of the reasons why you had the Rockstar, you had the color scheme was awesome on it, the green and the black on Condor itself, and then the purple and the yellow on Brad. It really works. It's one of the ones that kind of stands out above the rest. If you have a figure shelf like I do, which I don't think anybody does because nobody's sane like I am, when you're looking at it, the yellow grabs your attention right away. So it's pretty cool. So we already looked at Brad, right? Let's take a look at Condor. Now, mine is my original, and I'm missing some stickers. So we'll say that when it transforms, it shows some stickers, and that's pretty much the big thing of this, really. And I've talked about it in other episodes where I've talked about like my favorite vehicles or Series 1, but the simplicity of this thing, it's so simplistic yet like so sophisticated at the same time. I want to see if I can get in here on the cockpit area, and you have that there. The glass is intact, right? Simple. And it transforms. It goes up. No mechanics here, just your fingers. And mine, this usually stays up a little better on other ones here. Mine kind of dips a little bit. Does that with age. Does that to everything, I think. So mine being not complete, there's a mask sticker here. I don't have one here. That's what's not complete about it. It's got a little gun here. I think that pops. There's the pop in, if I remember correctly. Double check here 1 second. No, you're able to move it, but mine doesn't go in at all, so it's like always exposed. It seems like it should, but there's nothing there that holds it in place. So, okay, I see. When it's in the seat mode here, there's a little bit of like a pressure point inside, and as soon as you start lifting it, you can see it go up there. So it comes up when you go into attack mode or defense mode or whatever you want to call it. I always called it attack mode. Cartoon called it defense mode, but I guess they wanted to make it not as terrifying sounding or something along those lines. But there we go. Almost got him in there. You bastard. Hold on. He's having difficulties. And you can transform it with him in it. That's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to get it back into like regular mode and then show you. So he's on the bike here, and it does lift. Like you have to push him down a little bit because there's a little bit of a gap. But after that, ready to go. Who doesn't want that? Can't have this one. This one's mine. Again, you can get these pretty inexpensive. If you're recollecting now, I suggest getting this because it's going to be easier to get. Series 1 in the United States is easy to find, especially some of the smaller ones. Some things to keep in mind when you are looking to ask the seller. Ask about the condition of, number one, the mask of the figure. If you're getting it, the short ones, sometimes they're a little harder or brittle. So ask if that's the case. Just ask them to verify. And the only thing you have to worry about really is the back wheel. Ask them how that looks. So like mine's down a little bit, and maybe that cosmetically looks better as a helicopter, but ask if it goes all the way up and stays there, or if it does that. So can't come in, sorry. So, you know, that's about it. I mean, the glass usually stays intact on this. It doesn't stay intact on Piranha that well, but it stays intact pretty well in here. It does come off, like you can peel it off. So look for that. Make sure you look for one here that has it. And you don't really get much, you know, discoloration. The mechanics usually stay in place pretty well. The only brittle points you'll have are on the footings here. So look for that too when you're looking at pictures. See if all those are intact. If it matters if they're on there or not, but you get the idea. So let me know your thoughts on Condor. And let me know your thoughts on why people remember it so fondly. Did I hit the right points? Is there something that you remember differently about it that makes you, you know, makes it pop in your mind? I'm curious, and I always like to find out what the fans think. So until next time, this is Bill from Matt-Trakker.com, and I'll talk to you later. Spectrum's got